Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be looking at the movie No Time to Die, which was, of course, the James Bond movie that spelt the end of Daniel Craig's uh, tenure as the James Bond 007. And this particular article has come from Screen Rant, and it talks about the use of CGI in Bond movies. It was spoken about by Cary Fukunaga, who was the director of No Time to Die, and he says that Bond movies should use less CGI to maintain greater authenticity. In a new interview about the film, so I have to say I agree with this. But let's just go into what he says. Just got down here and it talks about it. It says, as I progress through my projects, I've come to know the moments when we can do visual effects and have it be seamless, because the last thing you want is for a sequence to feel like it's coming from a different kind of film. In a Bond film, where stunts are being done for real, so where so much of it is tangible and on screen, you're much more vulnerable to VFX and somehow undermine that sense of reality that you're trying to create. So you have to be much more judicious in the use of it. And I have to say, I thoroughly agree with this because, yes, there are certain movies where CGI is probably a good idea. I mean, Endgame had so much CGI that for me it was a bit of a CGI overload because you could see at some points where the CGI was and where it wasn't, and it was just a bit of an overload for me in that movie. But with Bond films, it's kind of created this reputation whereby it does fantastic stunts, and the stunts are real as much as possible. And I think it adds something to watching the movie when you think to yourself, someone's actually done this stunt. This isn't just CGI. This isn't all created in a computer. Someone's actually gone and done this and, risked their lives, because although they are as safe as possible, there is always a risk involved. And they've done this and they've actually shown that this can be done. I mean, if you go back to um, classic Bond films in the past, in the movie where he skis off the edge of the cliff and the big Union Jack parachute opens up. I mean, that was a real stunt. That was really done. He really skied off the end of this ledge, and it was just one of those iconic moments of movies, not just of Bond movies, but of movies in general. And so I completely agree. I think that there should be more real effects, real stunts done, not just in Bond movies. I think in general, I think there are a lot of times when you have to use CGI, and I understand about safety of actors and things like this. And obviously, there are certain things you can't do because of safety and things like that. I understand that completely. But I think if you can do something for real instead of having it done in CGI, I think you should. I think it adds something to a movie. Yes, we have amazing technology that can do wonderful things, but do we always want to rely on technology, or do we sometimes want to say, this actually happened? This is something that actually happened and isn't just done in a computer, it's done completely for real. I just love that about movies such as James Bond. And I think it's built up this reputation, very well earned reputation, for being one of those movies where the actors do a lot of the stunts themselves, especially the James Bond, the actor, whoever takes on the role next, will likely be someone who does a lot of their own stunts. Because although they do have stunt doubles, I know that Daniel Craig does a lot of the stunts himself as well. And it tends to be something that a lot of the actors like to do, to make it look more realistic and bring things to the movie. I completely agree with what Carrie said here. I think it's absolutely fantastic that they are continuing to use stunts, real stunts, whenever possible. And of course, you don't want to be risking anyone's life, but I think this is absolutely fantastic. The franchise is no stranger to this technology. It was showcased by Die Another Day's infamous invisible car. However, for the most part, Bond has always been a franchise that has tried to remain grounded in reality, at least visually. So it seems unlikely that CGI would take precedence over natural stunts, even in future installments. It is clear that Fukunaga was determined to make No Time to Die in the vein of classic Bond movies and retain the sense of realism long life fans will no doubt be hoping continues in the future. And I certainly do hope it continues in the future. And, I completely hope that the new person who becomes Bond will continue that mental of doing real stunts, and that they will continue to use real stunt people to pull off some of these amazing things that happen. And hopefully, it won't be diluted by too much CGI in the future. Let me know what you think. Do you enjoy seeing real stunts being done, or or does it not bother you? You don't care whether it's CGI, whether it's done real. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't add anything to the movie for you. I'd love to love to hear your opinions on this. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. And if you haven't done it yet and you've enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing and clicking the bell so that you'll get more updates about my future news that I talk about and future reviews as well. Thank you for joining me. Till next time, bye bye.